Okay, my apologies. I got a phone call. I forgot to put my phone in airplane mode. So anyway, I was talking about as a child, and I'm sure many of you have heard this, maybe not some of my younger followers, you might not be aware, but there was this saying that the old folks used to say, or people used to say, that curiosity killed the cat. Well, I've come to tell you that it is not curiosity that kills a cat. During a conversation with my younger brother, okay, he's only 18 months younger than me. Let me just clarify that in case he's watching. But anyway, he was like, you know what? It's not curiosity that killed the cat. It's complacency that killed the cat. They just told us it was curiosity so that we wouldn't be curious and go seeking answers to the unexplainable, to the in I can't even think of the word, to that which you don't understand. They didn't want you asking questions. Do not be curious. Even in the traditional African American Black Baptist churches or whatever, it was just certain questions you didn't ask. Like, yeah, like, who was Jesus' daddy? How did Mary get pregnant without having sex? Those were the type of questions you didn't ask. You believe by faith, not by sight. And that is exactly correct. It's just the wrong, I shouldn't say the wrong way. It was because we didn't remember that was the best way we knew that. And when I say we, I'm talking about the collective. So I'm talking about our parents, our grandparents, and but the collective. We we created a definition or an understanding or a rationale that made sense based on where we were in our cognitive abilities. So you believe by faith and not by sight. I now understand that, as I said to you in the earlier part of this video, is that I now know as a creator myself that which was once in the dark regions, in the dark recesses of my mind, in the heavenly realms, the unseen, traveled, descended down, and then manifested as something, a song, a poem, a dance, a book, an art piece, a decoration, rearranging furniture. A thought became manifest, but something inspired that thought, right? So a fire was ignited within me. I was inspired by something or someone. So a fire was ignited in me, and as the flames flew up into the heavenly realms, what came raining down was the different elevations or de-elevations of manifestation. So yeah, it is not curiosity that killed the cat. It is curiosity that enabled the cat to go and live, to have some experiences, to seek inner knowledge in order to gain wisdom. That is the crown. That is the reward for the fool's journey. That is the reward for the prodigal son who returns to the father. I can even accept that. A few weeks ago, I would have been like to the mother. But I can accept that I have both masculine and feminine energy within me. And I conquer it all. The mother, the father, but the child shall lead. My inner child is my higher self. Wow, that's a revelation to me right now. That's a revelation to me. That is a veil that has been lifted. The inner child in me is the higher self, is my Godhead. She's my goddess, and a child shall lead. The last shall become the first, and the first shall be last. There's always, it cycles. So there's always this concept. The thing is this is a good part. Let me go ahead and talk about my thoughtology, and then I'm gonna finish this other part up, and then I'm gonna call it a shorter second part. Plus, I gotta eat. The way to enlightenment, to elevation, to transformation, to the ascension, to the awakening, the way to that is within. Go within. Search your heart. Search your mind. Face yourself. Go to the dark recesses of your mind. Allow those unresolved issues, hurts, and pains. Heal them. No longer cover them with band-aids and excuses and rationale. Heal them. You must heal yourself from the inside out. That is the secret to eternal life, to longevity, to wisdom, to living in abundance and prosperity, even if you don't have a pot to piss in nor a window through to throw it out of. That is how you live this thing we call life, from a place of knowing so much, yet not knowing anything, and therefore you remain curious. It is, my dear, complacency, he said, that killed the cat. So he who does not question clearly does not think. What are you thinking about these days? Or are your thoughts merely based on MSNBC, CNN, Fox, local news, YouTube, Google, internet? For if it's not a combination of all those perspectives, then you will fall short of a solid, round view. You will be a weak link. For it is multiple perspectives that will get you closest to the reality or a collective truth. Multiple perspectives. And when you do that, what you will discover is there really is no right or wrong. What seems right to you today may seem wrong to you tomorrow. And what seemed wrong to you today may be right for you next week. It just depends on what's going on in your life, what track you on, what flow, what river, what ocean, what stream, what rainfall, what snow, what sleet, what glacier, iceberg. It just depends on where you are in the rotation. Seek a 360 view, a holistic view. You desire to be holy, one must first recognize who they are and allow themselves to remember, become sovereign, become ruler of one, master of one, God deaths of one, and stand in your truth. And know that in order for you to stand in your truth, you must also be a way maker, a way shower, a light bearer for others to also find their own way. The way you show them is only going to get them so far. You help them overcome that first level of mountains. But they will too, just like you, get to a point where what they use to get over those first levels of mountains will not be the same as what is required to reach the next mountaintop. But then that individual will no longer be the one who set out on the first journey. No longer the fool, having had the experiences, having tasted of good and evil, curds and whey, milk and honey, rich and poverty, wealth and poverty, all that. Having experienced all those different extremes and maybe everything in between, one can then begin to choose wisely, not just based on your own individual experiences, but also on the experiences of others. Is that always going to result in evidence-based research? If I just told you that we are the creators of thought into manifestation, how could we then produce evidence-based research? How can there be evidence of that which is unseen in its infancy? Just because you do an ultrasound on a woman's womb does not mean that what you see with the physical eye is actually that which is in her womb. It is not until that baby has been revealed that you know that what you thought you were seeing in your ultrasound is actually what came out. Mm-hmm. But we know based on experience, me being a woman and having given birth 3 times, I have the experience of what it's like to endure pain and pleasure all at the same time. Can I get a little honorary? Before I had the baby, of course, my first time having sex, or a few times of having sex for the first times, it was both pain and pleasure. I think Rick James said to him and Tina Marie, it was pain before pleasure, baby, baby. Yeah, it was, something always got to come first, right? So it was pain. But before I could even completely wrap my mind around the pain, there was pleasure. When I think of sex, intercourse in the beginning, pain and pleasure, giving birth to a child is both painful and pleasurable because you know that after the pain, that which has been growing in your womb has now become manifest. And on that note, I'm going to go on and wrap this up. I'm going to come back to you about my thoughtology maybe tomorrow if I'm feeling good and I'm in the flow. Until then, take care and wake up. This is your girl CeleXy signing out.